government can take them away.
Come on!
So it's not about defending the actions of man and our founders. It's about defending the liberty that we enjoy by virtue of being born free men and free women.
Yep.
Now, it was mentioned that I'm the author of the concealed handgun law, and that's correct. I passed it in 1993. Our governor at that time, Ann Richards, vetoed it. In part, she was beaten because of that veto. 2 years later, I passed it again, 1995, Senate Bill 60. And if you recall the discussion at that time, every editorial board in the state of Texas opined that if we passed the Texas concealed handgun law, it would be blood in the streets, wild, wild west, and shootouts at every four-way stop. So how many of y'all have been involved in a shootout at a four-way stop since we passed that bill? The point is that men and women who are so concerned with obeying the law, unlawful carry of a handgun is generally a Class A misdemeanor. Can you imagine someone who's concerned with not being charged with Class A misdemeanor committing a capital offense? It just doesn't compute.
That's right.
The folks who seek the permit are the folks who, by definition, are law-abiding.
Yeah.
Now, one of the problems we had back in 1995, when we passed the concealed handgun law, is that many municipalities around the state of Texas adopted ordinances that said no concealed handguns in the city limits, no loaded firearms.
Yeah, right.
And while I don't know the history here in San Antonio, what I can tell you is that my suspicion is that the city ordinance that says you can't have a loaded firearm unless you're a police officer or a security guard came out of that 1995 bill when all these municipalities passed prohibitions. My point is today is that the gentlemen who wear blue, or the gentlemen that wear whatever color uniform it may be, that are involved in our law enforcement, are not the ones who make law. They have that sometimes burden to enforce a law that's on the books that they may not agree with.
That's right.
And I will tell you, when we talk about San Antonio PD or DPS, you have to recognize that those cops on the street are not here to adjudicate, to evaluate the constitutionality, to compare a city ordinance to a state law that prohibits that city ordinance. That's not their job.
That's right.
Their job is to enforce the law however bad it may be. So what I say to you is, one of the reasons we're having this event today and it's being so successful is the San Antonio Police Department. I have had many conversations with Chief McManus about, yes, the chief says, I'm with you. This is the Constitution. We believe in your right to do this. We're going to help you make this a successful event. So when we move forward around Texas, continuing to advocate for our fundamental, God-given, natural right to keep and bear arms, any anger you have, focus it at the lawmakers.
Yeah.
Focus it at, and you shouldn't even have anger. You should go, focus it at the lawmakers, whether it's city council, whether it's county commissioner's court, whether it's